everyone, and welcome back to Satisfactory 1.0. We're picking up right where we left off the last time, and since the shuttle is back just now, we need to set up some of our next goals. I mean, the first thing we need to do is basically get a proper base going. We do have like foundations and stuff we need to do, and that is like the most important thing, to actually set up kind of a factory that is not let's game it out, basically. So there's that. Other than that, we do have obstacle clearing, we do have the logistics part. So last time we did automate our production of biofuel and stuff, so that helps, but it's not a good solution in the long run. We'll need better logistics. We will also need coal power, which we need to finish the space elevator for. So I'm thinking I just need to set up the base building part, get that underway, so that we can start to build up the proper base that I was thinking about. So first milestone is the base building, and then we'll see what we'll need. So yeah, the factory has been running and we had everything we need, so let's just get all the stuff in here that we have, and we'll just need to wait for a bit of rods there. There we go, got the rods, and launch.
Milestone reached. In the event that you are experiencing amnesia for all events prior to planetfall, be reassured that memories of beloved humans and or animals would have only been distractions from your important mission.
Awesome. Anyway, now we can start actually making like a proper layout and getting all of these things a little bit more organized. I mean, this isn't bad, but this is only the beginning. We're gonna need so much more, and we're gonna need a lot of stuff everywhere to build a factory of our dreams. And that means getting all the materials we need. We have a bunch of plates we need and all of that to make a proper layout. And you know what? I'll just organize the first part of the factory here to begin with, so that we have everything we need a little bit more decently laid out. And here we are. Same base, more or less, but with a more grid-like layout, which is awesome. Now we can actually start building like a proper base here. We can start expanding. I did not expand anything but the concrete production, but other than that, we're just using the same old level of miners and smelters and all of that. So now we can actually start dealing with expanding and such. I do believe that we do have enough materials now to get our field research up and running. Yes, we do. So let's fix that first.
Milestone reached. Potential technologies include exploration tools, weapons, and factory buildings. These are essential for maximizing your Pioneer efficiency in alignment with Fixit's core pillars: construct, automate, explore, and exploit. To advance Fixit's mission, all notable phenomena, resources, technology, or other influence should be investigated regardless of any perceived danger, as stated in the Pioneer contract.
So we've got our research capabilities up and running, and that concludes tier 1. So now we can just finish with the tier 2 stuff, and that's going to be awesome. Resource sync will be a very important thing later on as well, because there's some stuff in there that is extremely useful, and there's stuff in there that is just, you know, pretty and needs to be had in the factory. Logistic Mark II is also a very important one, because it'll give us higher speed belts and stuff, and obviously part assembly, which is required for the space elevator parts that we need to be making. So I'm thinking I want to speed to Logistics Mark II, so we can increase the productivity of our factory quicker and all of that stuff. It'll require me to manually construct the reinforced plates, but I think we can deal with that, unless I can see that we probably have all we need very quickly for the part assembly, and then we'll just make the machine. we'll see what I can see. And after running around for a little bit, I see that, in fact, the part assembly will be the natural progression. So let's just select that. We should have, apart from the rods, again, more or less everything we need. And the only thing that is actually stealing all of those rods are our screw factory. But we do have a bunch there, so I can just steal those. So that is like one of the first things that we want to increase our production of. It is rods and these screws, because anyone who's played a little bit of Satisfactory before knows that screws, it's the bane of your existence. You will need so many screws. So yeah, that will probably be one of the first like proper major factory lineups we'll build, because it's so important to get a lot of screws and a lot of rods to go with them. But for now, let's see what we lack. We are just about 100 short on the iron rods, so let me just make sure that we have those. There we go. Part assembly, which means we can now start making or automating.
Milestone reached. Project parts must be delivered to the space elevator. By completing your contracted duties as part of project assembly, you will definitely be helping achieve Fix-It Company goals without any other ulterior motive. Note, humans cannot craft project parts. Do not worry about your inadequate crafting skill when compared to an assembler. Fix-It cherishes your innate human abilities, such as walking, striking objects, and commodifying natural resources.
But yes, that means we can now automate the wonderful task of getting the reinforced iron plates. We can now automate those, which means we will need a bigger factory. We will need more of everything. So the next step will obviously be to get the logistics up and running for a faster belt and everything. Should be fairly easy. We just need 50 of those reinforced plates on top of what we have for now. Let me see, where do I want to place that machine? I think I'm just going to place it here on the other side. We need to move stuff around anyway, and it's going to be a mess for a while. So let me just make sure that I have everything. We'll need rotors, and we'll need 8 iron plates. There we go, and 1 machine for us. Let me grab some power over here to this machine. Put a little bit more rods, but I can just connect it for now directly. We're gonna need reinforced plates, so that's what I'm gonna start making. And so that is set up as well. We now have a machine. It's making our reinforced plates. I fed it some materials, and now it's incoming from the factory. I also increased or doubled our iron plate production as well, so that's gonna be amazing. So we are basically, how much does this make? This makes 20, so we have 40 iron plates a minute. I think that is what this one requires. No, it needs 30, so we'll have 10 in surplus, which is also great. And it's still feeding from like the one in here, so that's still going to be feeding enough. I think 30, it needs 30, so we actually need to double this, but I think we can do that fairly easily. So we're gonna split this about here. We're gonna need to merge this around there. What else? Get ourselves another of these. Give that some power, feed it, and more plates. And in there. So now we are producing 60 iron ingots a minute on that one. This one is using 60 per minute. So we are going to be eating through everything it spits out, which is good. There's even room for more, so that's cool. I forgot to feed it everything. See, if I do this there, then they won't actually be crossing paths like that. So that's cool. Awesome. Now it'll actually produce automatically. I just dumped in what I had, so...
Samples of new alien species acquired. Notable features are blunt teeth, suggesting it is herbivorous, and a thickly plated skull and spine, suggesting it is proficient at inflicting and receiving blunt force trauma. Research the remains in the MAM to establish classification and potential countermeasures. Damaged hard drive successfully acquired. All pioneers are contractually obliged to preserve and secure any recovered hard drives for analysis in the MAM, which may result in benefits to the Fix-It mission. Speculation as to why there are crashed freighters in your Fix-It designated zone is discouraged as specified in your contract.
Don't want me to know what's happened, huh? But I assume that is a mystery that we will uncover whether we like it or not, as long as we keep exploring and keep progressing the tech and all of that. There's another one. And who charges first? You. Okay, cool. Remember to get rid of the bees, just crouch and go for it. They will not wake up as long as you crouch. Some easy tech here to get a hold of. That's cool. What do you want? Oh, it's didn't require anything, so we have 2 hard drives now. Awesome. It is really important in this game to actually like explore and look around, find stuff. It's almost as important as the building of the factory itself, because there's so much to discover, and so much of the stuff you need will require you to actually go out and explore. Oh, we've got ourselves some Spidey boys. Whew. That was close.
Samples of unknown alien species acquired. Initial data suggests these are predators, but notably they do not have a traditional mouth or eyes. There are, however, numerous cavities on their head which could fulfill a similar function. Research the remains in the MAM to establish classification and potential countermeasures.
And obviously also...
The Summer Sloop was named after Marie Somerville, co-founder of Fix-It and head of its R&D department. There are many theories about the origin of this shape and why this symbol, mathematically resembling a Mobius strip, has found its way to both human and extraterrestrial culture. Thankfully, you don't need to know any of these theories to be a pioneer. Research it in the MAM to establish locally appropriate classification and application. Fun fact: the planet you are on was found and named during a planet spotting event Marie hosted named Marie's Awesome Scientific Search of the Avant-Garde Exoplanets.
I don't know. Oh, you are big. And you are deadly, and I am out of here. So let's just nope out of here and head back to base with the stuff we have.
Samples of unknown alien species acquired. Their weaponized plasma is most likely stored as a stable chemical substance in an organ close to their mouth, and only turns volatile when exposed to one of the chemical elements in the air. Research the remains in the MAM to establish classification and potential countermeasures. Unknown metal collected. This metallic element is showing properties similar to those in Group 11 on the periodic table, such as high conductivity and malleability. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application.
Can I take on one more? We'll see. That's fine.
This semi-slug species seems to persist entirely through absorbing and storing energy from its surroundings. Studying this could provide new methods for improving fix-it production line efficiency. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application.
There we go. Now, I do have enough resources to make the MAM, so I'm going to prioritize getting that up and running, because we have a lot of stuff we need to research. Then, I'll go here and I potentially grab all the stuff we need. And the last thing we need is... yeah, no, I think we've got everything. Let's see if we have... no, we need some more rods. 100 more, so I'll just wait for those while we do some research.
Research completed. Alien protein can now be turned into biomass or alien DNA capsules. In addition to being used for research, the invaluable alien lifeform data in these capsules can be traded for fix-it coupons at the Awesome Sync. We guarantee the best capsule to coupon exchange rate anywhere on this planet.
Of course you do. You're the only ones. Ah, the protein inhaler. That's going to be really, really handy. I don't have enough stuff for it yet, but, you know, structural analysis is going to be very useful to get the rebar gun, which will help us fight these creatures. It's going to be useful later. I'm not going to be diving too much into them for now.
Summer sloop analysis completed. Summer sloops are somewhere between battery and conduit, harvesting energy from pockets of space with complete disregard for the rules of the space-time continuum, and distributing it into its connected ecosystem. This energy...
let the effigies harvest until the waves reach our shores. Consume.
Similarities to the hypothetical force of dark energy to potentially be one and the same. It can now be tracked by the object scanner.
Alright, we've done a bunch of research. Let's see if we can get a hold of the last rods we need. Nope, not quite. I might have to make them myself, which is fine. It's only, what, 58 of them. Let's just grab that and handcraft. And there we go. Boop.
Milestone reached. Fix-It would like to remind you of your contractual obligation towards efficiency. Recreational use of belts and lifts does not count towards work hours and will put you on the list. Stay efficient, don't disappoint Fix-It.
That does mean that we now can increase the speed of some of our belts, which is a good thing, because we will definitely need it. So let's just go ahead and make sure that our belts can handle the volume of stuff that is coming in, because these are producing 120, which means that this belt should now be full. You know what? I'm gonna give you Mark II belts as well. So, and when I was waiting for the materials for the resource sink, I took the liberty of expanding our copper factory. So now we have 3 smelters getting a belt in there from the copper node over there. It's only a normal node, so that it gives us 60 a minute, and I have 3 of them, so I'm prepared to like smelt the excess here into a couple of constructors for cables, wires, and the cables need to be produced as well. For a little while it'll have more than it needs, but we do have everything we need now for the resource sink, so let's go ahead and give it all of those resources. There we go.
Milestone reached. You have been given access to the anti-waste effort for stress testing of materials on Exoplanet's bonus program, also known as Awesome. Your awesome input allows Fix-It to comprehend our amazing universe more clearly. In appreciation of this, we have generously set up an internal, closed economy with exclusive rewards and currency. Directing parts of varying quantity and complexity into the Awesome Resource Sink will grant Fix-It coupons. These coupons can be redeemed in the Awesome Shop for highly desirable items such as new foundations, walls, factory attachments, cosmetics, parts, and more. Next time you have additional resources, just remember to go that extra kilometer. Go Awesome.
and so we shall. There are so many bonuses and nice things that we can get through the awesome sink and the awesome shop. And with the new factory pieces in here, I might need to start thinking about expanding again. We are at 119 megawatts of max capacity out of 150 that we can produce. So it's getting closer to having to set up a proper power situation. So the space elevator is our next goal. We will need to finish building our basic factory setup, which we have for the most part, and we'll have to find a location for the space elevator. I'm thinking just right out here. There's plenty of room for us to build in that direction, so that seems to be one of the better places we could do it. Let me grab some more materials, because we are going to be needing a huge platform. So a 10 by 10 is usually what I build to make sure that I have enough room, and it's as easy as, you know, this is more than enough room for the continuation here. So we want a space elevator, so let us queue that up and see what we need. We need 250 plates, we need 400 rods, 1500 wires, and we already have the concrete. So I'm thinking maybe we should just shut the cable factory down for now. If I just steal that, we actually have enough. And obviously the rods. That is backing up in this system here already because we are producing more iron rods than we are using. In the meantime, let's see what else we can do. We should probably think about expanding the power facilities. So that also means we need more production of biofuel.
Unknown crystalline mineral collected. This mineral is composed of the same chemical elements as quartz and may yield similar industrial functions. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application.
And there we go. That's gonna be a bunch of biofuel for us. And there we go. We're up to a 210 megawatt production just by adding a couple more now. So we are safe for power for a while because the biofuel burners also scale their production, which is really, really cool. Ooh, and we've got our first hard drive. So let's see.
Hard drive analysis completed. Alternative recipe selection available in the MAM.
So we can get alternate recipe for deuterium wire or the cast screws. The cast screws will be brilliant though because they will allow us to use 5 iron directly from the ingots and just make screws directly out of them. That will make it a lot easier to scale the production of screws. So I think I'm not even going to rescan the drive. I'm going to be selecting the cast screws right away because I know we are going to need to do it. And we've got ourselves a new recipe and let's go for the hard drive. I could take advantage of that right away actually and start using the rods for rods basically, just stockpiling them instead, and instead of using 10 rods to make 40 screws, we can then use 1 to 50 and skip the iron rod stage, which is really, really good. So that's exactly what I did. I unhooked all the production from the factory here. Now I can just remove this, we can stockpile this, the rods here. Let's see, we want it right about there. Let's grab you into there. And we now have this facility here producing our screws with the new recipe we have. So we're using about 25, yeah, exactly 25 iron rods a minute to make this, and they should be appearing fairly shortly, like occasionally over here. Yes, here they are. I haven't scaled up the production of iron rods over here more than one, so it's producing 60 over here, and the machines over here are using 30, so we should be good when it comes to the rods over here. But I think this will need to back up with ingots before this one also can split like halfway. So for now it's getting like a third, so it's getting around 20, so that's a little too low for a little while, but it should be fine. It'll work itself out shortly. Now we do have enough of the rods. Now we just need a few more wires before we can make the space elevator itself, and I think this should be good. With that and what's in here, we now have enough of that as well. We can turn this back on because we are going to be needing a lot more cable. Now let us build the giant machine, the space elevator that'll take all our resources and all the production that we want. So here we go. And so the base of it is created.
Project assembly initialized. Congratulations, Pioneer. The space elevator will now automatically connect with the Project Assembly orbital platform. Project assembly is divided into phases, each of which require the delivery of project parts, such as smart plating, via the space elevator. Subsequent phases unlock access to new tiers with more advanced technologies to construct, automate, explore, and exploit. It is time to be honest. This project is part of the Save the Day program, the largest united undertaking in human history, destined to save us all. Earth is in peril, and only Fix-It pioneers offer hope for survival. Fix-It is counting on you. Humanity is counting on you. Do not let Fix-It down.
Amazing. We are now officially making huge progress here. This is so cool. Now what we will need is the machine to make the smart plating. Well, then that is an assembler, so we will need one of those, and we'll also need other things to make the stuff that that assembler needs. So let's get the assembler built and let us see what we're gonna need to move forward. So I'm gonna need a belt to just feed all of that in there. This is all temporary replacement. We are gonna need reinforced plates. We have that already. And we're gonna need the rotors. We are not producing any rotors just yet. That will be our first task here. So we are going to be needing another one of these to make rotors. So another assembler, and I'm going to be picking up some iron plates and some concrete here, and see the plates around here, so we can make a place where we build and transport the stuff we need here. Gonna be a fairly close build so far, but we will be getting into like the larger structures fairly shortly, because once we start down this path and once we get coal, then we will be making like a huge power plant. We will be making all of those kind of things that we will be needing to make all of this work. So let me just punch in all of the stuff we need here. We're gonna need a rotor factory. What does the rotor factory need of supplies? It needs screws and rods. And now that we have the new recipe for screws, that is brilliant, because now all the iron rods we make, none of those are going to make screws. So it's a lot easier to manage that whole production. That is really, really cool. So now that we have that goal, I think that is it for this time, which is a brilliant place to stop. And I hope you're enjoying this little series of mine, and I hope you are excited to see where we take and how we are going to be building this factory out. For now, it's just this flat thing, but we are going to be moving into separate production facilities and all of those things for everything. So that's going to be really, really cool. As I said, I hope you're enjoying this series, and if you did, remember to leave a like and share the video and leave me comments about the factory tips and tricks that you know about, and I hope to see you in the next one. All right, bye.